Hi guys, my name is Nana.misa. I'm a London-based cinematographer, and in today's video, we're going to talk about false color, which is my go-to exposure tool for making sure that I'm getting perfect exposure every single time. So usually you'll find false color built into cinema cameras and some external monitors. So for example, the camera which I'm filming on today, the Blackmagic Pocket 6K, has false color built in, and also my external monitor, which is just off screen down here, has false color built into that as well. How false color works is you'll have different tones or different colors assigned to different IRE levels. And IRE is a measurement that is used to measure different brightness levels within an image. So the IRE range will span from 0 to 100, 0 being complete black and 100 being complete white. So your highlights and shadows. So typically within false colors, your shadows will be represented by colors such as deep purples and dark blues. Your midtones will be represented by colors such as pink, green and gray. Your highlights will be represented by colors typically within your reds, your yellows and your oranges. By having different brightness levels represented by colors, it makes it very easy to see straight away within your image what is overexposed or what is underexposed, and allow you to make quick changes to either your ISO, your aperture or your shutter angle to ensure that you're getting the perfect exposure. Okay, so right now we're in my living room, and the reason I've come to my living room is because I want to show you scenarios where I rely on false color heavily. So in an example where I'm trying to capture a shot which has extreme lighting ratios, for example, you've got clipping highlights, i.e. daylight and the sky, and you've got areas which are in dark shadows, i.e. things like black, like my top. False color, I rely on it quite highly to help ensure that I'm getting good light ratios and getting the exposure that I think best fits the scene. So what you can see, you can also see the false monitor, which has been switched on my Blackmagic camera, and you can see that that's been filmed by my Sony a7S III, so I've got a monitor to the side of me where I can see that. In the scene right now, you can see that the highlights are completely blown out because I'm shooting wide open at 1.8. The background is not pleasing. I'm looking at the monitor above me and I can see that everything's blown out. So you're seeing a lot of red, you're seeing some yellow, and you're seeing gray, which is just before it starts hitting yellow. Yellow is almost kind of like your warning sign that you're about to clip your highlight. Myself, you can see that my face is kind of exposed, but it's a lot of it is pink, and for darker skin tones, that it's not good to have so much pink because that's kind of showing that you're overexposed. So it's good to get a mixture of green and pink. So what I need to do right now is expose the background, because you always try and control the light, which you can't control. Essentially, daylight, I can't control that, like I can't turn it down. So what I would do is I would use a variable ND. So I'm gonna pop one onto my lens right now, just to see if we can get that background less overexposed and not blown out. As you can see now, the background is well exposed. Let me just adjust the frame a bit. As you can see now, what you can see in the background, you're seeing pinks, you're seeing greens, and you're not seeing any yellow or red. It is Nana from the future who's currently editing the video that you're watching. Just wanted to jump in just to clear up something. I said that in the false color you can't see any red, but you can actually see some red, but that red is not from the false color. It's coming from the focus peaking on the Pocket 6K. I forgot to switch it off when I started recording the LCD screen on the back of the Pocket 6K. So you can see some red, but it's just from the focus peaking. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Back to it. So that's showing me I've exposed the background correctly, but now I'm in darkness because the ND's not getting, it stopped a lot of the light that was spilling into the room and back onto me. So what I will do to compensate for that is I've got a key light to the left of me. It's not a massively powerful light, it's a 60 watt light. But what I'll do is I will switch that on now. Okay, so now you can see on the false color. So this side of my face, you can see some green and some gray. And on this side, you can see pink, which is the daylight that's hitting this side of my face coming from outside, and probably a little bit of the spill that's coming from the key light over here. Now, the thing is, with a scene like this, what I'm trying to go for is more of a natural daylight look. So I'm trying to make the scene look like it's being lit by natural light. Now, if it was to be lit just by natural light, you wouldn't have the same lighting ratios that I'm having in this scene right now, because the light that's hitting my face is quite bright, and it the window light coming into the room wouldn't behave in this way, because there would be some fall off from it bouncing off all the walls within the room and it traveling to hit the other side of the room. So what I would do in a scenario like this, I'll look at my monitor to the right of me, which is showing me my false color. And what I'll aim to do is to reduce the amount of green on this side of my face. Although green is showing that your face is exposed correctly, it doesn't look natural to the scene. So what I would do is I'll bring down the key light till I've got less green on my face and just maybe a few specks of green, because I think that'll give it more of a natural look. So I'm gonna bring this key light down now. So as that's happening, you'll start seeing it's getting less, the green is getting less on my face. And what I'll do is I would play around with it till I feel I've got an amount that is decent. So I personally think just around here looks a lot more natural than it did before. Now, it's not perfect, because if I had a more powerful key light, let's say maybe a 300 watt light, I would be able to compensate and kind of get the ratios exactly how I want it. But in scenarios like this is once again why I talk about false color is such a cool tool to have, because it helps you kind of work around scenarios and work with the equipment that you have. And in this case, I've made some compromises, but I feel like I've got the scene in a way that I feel looks natural and what I was aiming for. And this is one of the reasons I highly recommend false color, because I think it just makes getting the exposure and light ratios in your scene the way you want it. It makes it much easier to do. For me, this is definitely another reason why I highly recommend that you either get a camera with false color built in or an external monitor. A lot of monitors have them nowadays, so I definitely recommend you at least pick up an external monitor with false color. It'll make your job just a lot easier, and I rely on it heavily whenever I'm crafting and getting the exposure right in the scene. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop it a like, leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. It would help me out a lot. I'm trying to make sure I keep uploading regularly. And for now, hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.